In this video, we'll be discussing creating a video timeline in Photoshop. So first, get a file ready with a few layers of cutout objects. In this case, I have some planets. I cut out 4 of them, and I have a background in my file. So I'll just type background here, and you can label your items whatever you want so it's easy to find them. It's always a good idea. So I'm just going to label mine 1, 2, 3, 4. After you get this complete, what we're going to simply do is we're going to go into the video timeline setting. So what we want to do is hit Window, find our timeline window, open that up. We want to make sure we select Video Timeline or Create Video Timeline, and then double click on that. And what we'll do is open up and we'll see that all our layers that we have will end up on our timeline. What you see in purple is the timeline length. Right now we're about 5 seconds. We can always change the amount of time, and we have all our layers stacked here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about moving a subject. So if I hit the drop-down menu on the first layer, you'll see that there's an option called Position. There's a little stopwatch icon. And when I click on that, a little diamond appears. That's the first position. If I want to go all the way down to the end of the video, before I do anything, I'm just going to move my subject. And when I move it and replace it, you'll see another little diamond icon has appeared. And that shows the second position. So if I actually play it, there will be a smooth movement from first position to second position of my object. Now, I can put these different intervals just to show you. If I want this to go a little faster, I can actually move my little diamond slider so it's a shorter amount of time to get to that point. So if I wanted to get to about 2 seconds in, I can actually move that to about 1 second or 2 seconds in. When I play it, you'll see how fast it goes to that point. So where I put it stays the same, but the time it takes to get there goes a lot faster because I put that position there. Now, if I increase the time length it takes to get there by about to like 2.5 seconds, you'll see it's a much slower rate of speed to get to that second position. Or if I just increase it a little more, you'll see it gets even slower. And the slowest I can get it to go would be from the beginning of the video clip to the end. You can see where it is in the position. So that's about 90% of the way. So play with that so you can see where your position affects speed. But now what I can do, if I want to actually move it to another position, I can move it, and now it's got 2 different spots of movement. So now we have 3 diamonds. So I can make it bounce around from position 1 to position 2 to position 3 just by moving it to a 3rd position and then placing a place setter there. If I want to bring it to another position, again, I move it and it creates another position for me. And if I want to bring it to the last position, I move it to that timeline I want, and now it's going to juggle around in about 4 different positions where I have it end right there. So you can do that with any of your layers. That's what you want to do, is practice on those movements and those different positions so you can gain control of how to use the timeline and where to move your animations to. It's a very simple process once you get that going. Now, there are other options we'll discuss at a later point. Like there, you'll see opacity and things like that, and style, and we'll talk about that. Now, if you want to ever change your background, you could always change your background. But in this case, I think it would be good for us to try a text transformation. So we'll just go to T in a second. But before that, let's talk about effects. Anything you do to your layers will affect it on the video. So I'm going to do a simple drop shadow on this planet here, and it will stay with it throughout the video. Because I alter it in the layer, it gets altered in the video as well. So we'll just run through this. So anytime you want to change or alter your object on a normal layer, it will get automatically altered for the video as well. So if we just run this, you'll see it runs with a drop shadow the whole time. So that will always be available for you. Now we're just going to click the text tool, and we're going to click on there, and we're going to put some text, and we're going to try a transformation skill or action. So I'm going to type in whatever I want here. And what we're going to talk about is making the lettering smaller and larger and changing the location of it on the video. You'll also see that I'm going to put a little bit of an effect on it. It's going to do a stroke, give it a yellow outline. You're going to see that my text layer has appeared on the top, but you might not see its timeline because it's shifted forward. In this case, if I want it to run with the rest of the video, I'm just going to pull that timeline back. You'll also see some other options popped up. For my example, you'll see that transform has popped up, and we're going to end up using that action to transform the size of it. But I'm just going to drag my timeline back to fit with the rest of my video files on my layers. There we go. Now, if I want my lettering to start far away or like small and get bigger on my timeline, what I'm going to do is make the space word really small, put it in a location I'd like, and that's going to be my first action of transform. And then I'm going to slide it all the way to the end of the video. And now, after I transform it larger, I'll hit enter, and that will create my second size of the lettering, and that will also create my second point of transformation. So it works just like the position tool, but transform means to change it in terms of scale or other things. So now when I play, you'll see that the lettering gets larger as it gets to the end of the video. So definitely play around with the transformation tool. You can do that with objects as well. It's not just for lettering. So you can make things go from large to small. And you can also change which layers go in front of what to alter the look and feel of your piece. And again, we'll get into more of our other options that we have available, but this will give you a great start in trying a video timeline, and then you can work some ideas into that, just like you did with your frame animation. Good luck, everybody.